Well, hey, you guys. Cal, Adam, how you doing?
We're so great. It's so great to be here on this
Raise the roof.
beautiful day.
Adam, I appreciate your positive tone. Knowing that we are.
I just survived my first snowstorm of the year. So
very good.
this is good news for the rest of the year.
Well, I think we got a lot more coming.
Okay.
I don't want
Our
to
neck of the
rain on
woods.
your parade, but you know what? Someone's going to rain on your parade. It's going to rain. It's going to get colder. There's going to be more snow. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That's wintertime in Canada in a nutshell. So we do what we do. We get hat head and we carry on with the show.
Amen.
You know where it doesn't snow, cheesy segue, is one of our favorite and yet most famous zip codes that we got to know on TV. And the gates to that area are not closed. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We'll get to some information on that. Also, promotion is underway for the new Scream movie, which we've talked about already, but pretty exciting stuff. So we'll talk about that. And which boy band didn't always get along, but figured it out to be able to still be doing it 40 plus years later. Yeah, so they're not boys anymore. That's what that means. But no one ever calls it a men band. We've also got Kelly's trivia, which should be great as usual.
So great.
And we're going to do a 90s rewind, go back to December of 1993. What's that known as, Kel? 1993 was?
The best year of music ever.
That's a subtext, yes, but the golden age of hip hop.
Yeah, also that too.
That said,
yeah,
it's not all hip hop.
By the way, are you ready for a quick Mariah Carey stat?
Please give it to me.
So I actually screenshotted it the other day because I couldn't believe this. So Mariah Carey wrote on her Instagram, "I'm freaking out!" 4 exclamation marks. 1 billion. So it's on Billboard, the #1 greatest of all time holiday 100 songs. Over 10 million sales and 1 billion worldwide streams of All I Want for Christmas Is You.
I might be responsible for a few hundred of those.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say a few 100,000.
I'm committed. I'm not sure if I had that much time.
Yeah. But I love, she wanted to give a shout out to the Lamely, her fans.
Yes.
And eternally grateful and blessed. Love the Mariah Carey.
Isn't that wild though? Like what? It's just such a great song. There's nothing wrong with that song.
Not one thing.
It's so pure and lovely.
Even the remix version, Sharon, which you probably
no. Stop right there.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you very much.
Version, though. It's great.
Fine, keep it. Do you know what? Next steps for the Sex and the City follow-up called "And Just Like That" have already started. These next steps, right? By the time of this show airing, the show will have already started. So what comes along with that is some of the negativity from the past also. So I figure we should start there this week on 90s now. A little bit of the 90s, a little bit of the now,
and
all together.
The black cloud that Sharon
likes. You know what? Chris Noth, aka Mr. Big, was asked about the whole Kim Cattrall, Sarah Jessica Parker thing and how Kim Cattrall's not returning. And he said this, and I quote, "I have to tell you, I have absolutely no idea what her thinking is or her emotions. I do know that I'm very close with SJ, and Kim Cattrall's descriptions of her don't even come close. I liked her. I thought she was marvelous in the show, and some people move on for their own reasons. I don't know what hers were. I just wish the whole thing had never happened because it was sad and uncomfortable." Which, no offense to any male listening, but that's so guy.
Best word ever, uncomfortable. Yeah.
Well, exactly. And I think that just like life, you know, and that's their life, it's their reality, that there's been a lot said about each other, by each other, and even still we don't know the whole story, and the fact that there's always 3 sides to every story, and that each party has their own version of it, and that the truth is smack in the middle. And really,
the truth is out there, Sharon.
The truth is out there. If they could get them in a room with a referee, then we could get the whole story.
They could sell pay-per-view on that. Do you know how many people would pay for that?
Totally.
Sarah Jessica and Kim Cattrall SmackDown.
And it would have to be one of those things that, obviously, this sounds like redundant, but that they'd have to want to do.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, obviously, they'd have to be interested in like honestly going and having a conversation. It's sort of like in the periphery of the fine print of of the contract of a celebrity. You might have to go on TV and talk about the truth, you know? But I think that there are elements of the media that will always ask that question because they think that that these people know everything, right? That they're hiding bits of information, like as if Chris Noth cares, and he cares about his friends, but like he doesn't care about the details. Like he said, it's sad and uncomfortable. Just like make it stop. But it would be cool, I think, if they got that kind of a thing, you know, bring the two women in a room who want to be there just to sort of, they don't have to be friends after,
Well,
but for the sake of the fans.
my question is if Guns N' Roses were able to full circle it, and if those guys are able to figure it out, I feel like
Yeah.
SJP and Kim Cattrall should like make it happen. Maybe not right now, maybe in like 2 or 3 years from now, but
Yeah,
I would hope.
I would venture to say that both have done contributed to the negativity,
Right.
obviously.
Mhm.
And then I think the need to know notion of fans and people in general, and then, you know, determining opinions based on things that A, aren't their business, and B, aren't like complete thoughts, are another thing that,
Yeah.
you know, takes on whole new lives at every turn. So sad and uncomfortable.
And
Hashtag sad and uncomfortable.
speaking of that, not that it's sad or uncomfortable, but Chris Noth, by the way, is in the rebooted Equalizer with Queen Latifah on CBS.
That's a pretty cool show. I haven't watched
I
it
tape it.
consistently, but
I
it's
tape it
good.
every week.
You tape it on your VHS,
I tape it on my DVD. What is it? DVR, whatever that is.
DVR,
DVR.
PVR. Hey, you know what? Modern problems. Speaking of PVRs, all of a sudden, the other day, there was nothing on our PVR.
No.
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
How does that happen?
Good question. So we call the company and say, how does that happen? They said, oh, well, let's do a few tests. So we were on the phone with them for like 20 minutes, and okay, real, like, yeah, what's the word I'm looking for? Detailed tests. Okay, unplug the unit and then plug it back in. Okay, so as we've unplugged it, they're doing something on their end. Anyways, after 2 or 3 unplugs and plug back in, they said, yeah, we're going to send you a new unit. And we're like, okay, great. Before we hang up, does that mean that all our shows are gone? They're like, yeah. Yeah. So
I would be in big trouble if that happened, because I have a fair amount of backlog as we speak.
yeah.
And so like particularly, I have like 1 or 2 episodes of Equalizer to get to, and I had started recording the Brandy Queens.
Oh, it's really,
show.
the first 2 episodes I've seen, very good.
And so I have like 6 of them lined up, and I was like, maybe Christmas holidays I can power watch.
Well, that's the fun thing too. At least for the most part, the shows that we do record are available on demand. So we're not out in the woods. We're going to be okay, you guys.
Thank goodness, I was worried.
Be you. Let's settle up.
Uh-oh.
Not saddle up. Well, maybe, you know what? Let's saddle up and get into some trivia. How about it?
90s.
Now, trivia.
Bing bong,
Bing
Sharon.
bong. Back at ya, bingo.
2 pink cards this week. I'm not sure what that means, but there's
Ooh.
2 of them. So, and just before I launch into question number 1, a quick shout out once again to Rachel from Australia, because
Kelly. I think it's Australia.
that one,
Mhm.
cracky.
Crikey, Kelly.
She has messaged us so many times on our YouTube channel to say how much she's enjoying the show. So I
Oh,
just
good.
pass that along, and we appreciate
Thank you,
that.
Rachel.
And I think they're, Adam, can you double check this? They're 12 or 14 hours ahead, I believe. Because they always get the new year first, don't they?
What time is it in Australia?
Yeah.
Australia.
So if I add
I
12,
doubt it.
It's 12?
well, because it's not the same time at everywhere in Australia, right?
Oh, I
Is it
think
all
she's in
one
Melbourne.
How
time?
about in Canberra?
There we go.
That's the capital, Rachel.
So it would be 10:45 a.m. and it's here 6:45 a.m. So that's 16 hours ahead, right?
Sure.
It's a lot of hours.
Wow,
Thanks for
16
listening and
hours.
watching, Rachel.
Thanks for listening and watching tomorrow, Rachel.
Yeah. So question number one, this is going to be, I don't know. I worry for the two of you on this one. In
It's a good sign.
in Dances with Wolves, this is a movie question. In Dances with Wolves, what name does Dunbar give to the wolf that he befriends?
Sharon,
Go.
pal. No, wait, buddy.
I would have went for Mikey.
Oh, nice.
No,
Nicey.
it is much better than that. And I guess this has
Sensei. Is it Sensei?
no, two socks.
2 socks?
Yeah, I wonder if that's there must be some indigenous. I'm a thinking. Why am I'm a thinking?
You put an apostrophe A on that one. Nice.
I love it. But two
What
socks.
you
that's-
thinking now, Kel?
I'm a thinking I like two socks as a name for a wolf. I think that's
How do you
How do
spell
you
two
spell it?
socks?
Yeah.
Hey, smart.
there we are. So no points on that one and
No.
or any correct answers.
But honestly, how do you spell it?
Two socks, like two words.
Really?
Maybe it had to do with like he had white fur on his paws.
That's
and it looked
probably
like
what it
socks.
is. I didn't watch the movie. Did you?
No.
It was a big deal then.
Yeah,
Remember
it was a
when
huge
Dan-
deal.
Was it 90? Adam, was it 92 it came out?
It was 1990.
1990. Okay.
I was in the clubs, hammer pantsing my arse off.
And I was starting to be a thought in my mom's mind,
Aw, yay.
one step at a time.
I was wearing no, I wasn't there yet. I was going to say I was wearing my backward clothing, but that was 92 with
So
crisscross.
you were wearing your clothes properly then?
I was up until like 14. Anyways,
Well, speaking of clothing and we have sorry, I won't segue yet out of this. We still have another question, don't we?
we do. We have question number 2 with the second
Oh.
pink card.
Got so excited about the next story.
Here we are. In Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, what does the Sheriff of Nottingham threaten to cut Robin of Locksley's heart out with?
Adam,
That doesn't sound confident.
a knife.
Well, for being super literal, points.
Sharon,
In
dagger.
And what did you say?
A dagger.
Oh, I thought you said a can opener. Don't I? I have been up
to
way
see that.
too long today. So remember how we've discussed that the cards sometimes have snappy responses?
Yes.
This particular one has one.
Uh-oh.
So the answer is a spoon, comma, oh snap, exclamation mark.
Yeah, because that would hurt.
That's
Because they
a
don't have
lot.
a sharp edge, so it would take a long time to get in there.
You know, I
Get their
as we know,
heart
the
out.
holidays are approaching, and I helped my mom make her Christmas fruit salad, as we have discussed before on the show. I make the melon bowls.
You're a melon baller.
I am, but it's an art form because you cannot rush the melon making. It has to be
Don't
like-
rush me.
And I always have to ask my mom. I'm like, Mom, this year, I'm like, Mommy Alexander, are we going for the big balls or the small?
She said, I'll thank you not to talk about my balls.
That's right. Anyways,
It's a nice tie-in actually, because I think of you saying melon ball, and there used to be a shot that we used to have at the clubs that was called the melon ball. It was delicious.
you
What
would know
was
that,
it?
Sharon. My clothes were still on frontward, so I have nothing else to add to that.
Kelly was in grade 6.
Yeah.
And what was in the shot?
Alcohol.
What else?
Booze.
Specific, you know.
Oh, I don't remember. I just had a blind faith that whatever they were pouring into that shot glass was good for me. Give me 2.
Yeah, we've all had those shots where you have no idea what's in the shot.
Yeah, you just see a lot of action going, and then they shake it and pour it, and you're like, all right,
I'll drink
we're
this."
doing this. Craziest shot I ever did, since we're talking about shots, was at a stagette for a friend of mine. And we all lined up at the bar, put our heads back on the bar, and then they poured, what's that black licorice? Zambuca.
Mhm.
And then they lit them on fire.
Yeah.
There are
Sometimes I go
flames coming out of our
terribly raw.
mouths.
Oh my God.
And so all you do to get the fire, make the fire stop, is close your mouth.
Right.
But I can tell you how life affirming it is to be standing with your head back on a bar and flames coming out of your mouth like, oh, and you just close your mouth and carry on.
I was going to ask if you remembered the instructions.
They tap you on the head,
Okay.
honestly, because you're like, "Ah, there you go. Close your mouth, fool."
Very good.
You know who never did an upside down shot?
Oprah.
Andrea.
Okay.
From
Oh, yeah.
90210. I'm sure of it. But we're cutting to the chase here. That in a recent interview, Gabrielle Carteris, or for 90210 fans, Andrea, she said, quote, "We're talking right now about doing something else together. So I think that would be really fun. You'll hear more depending on what happens," end quote. So here's a little bit, but I'm taking it back because there's really nothing here. So I appreciate that the guy that was interviewing her went on to ask her a movie. Like she's concluded, you'll hear more depending. A movie, he says. She says, "We'll see what happens." So she sounds fun. But then he tried to get more by adding, "I've heard rumors of a movie. I've heard rumors of a documentary. It all sounds good." And Gabrielle Cartera said, "It's all good. Whatever we do will be fun."
She'd be a great politician.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for coming out with all your information.
And actually, isn't she, or what? I'm not sure if she currently is, but she was like the president of like the Actors Guild, wasn't she? I think
And student council.
on the show and then in real life. But I'm pretty sure she was like an Actors Guild Grand Poobah.
I think she was too.
I think that's the title on her desk. Gabrielle Cartera.
Where is the Grand Poobah? I'm right here.
Where does she fit?
It's a big chair. You have to take 2 steps up to see her. So that's one of those story non-stories.
Yeah.
Seem good.
Yeah.
Non-story.
Sidebar.
But we'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It always used to bother me watching that show that they would call her, and I'm sure this was how they were supposed to call her, but I never got Andrea. It sounds super pretentious.
Mm-hmm. But that's the name she was given as a baby, Kelly.
I guess. But I'm like, what was her last name on the show? It was Andrea. What was it?
Wasn't it? I want to say Zuckerman. Wasn't it?
Oh, I
like
think
that?
you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, I forget things that are way more important than that. No offense, Gabrielle Carteris.
Yeah.
I do confirm it was Andrea Zuckerman.
Very nice. And before you move on, Sharon, just quick sidebar. You and I think, I'm not sure if Adam watched it, but we liked the 90210 reboot. I was sad it went off the air. I thought it was great.
I honestly don't even remember how it ended because I don't think we were recording it. Dummies. I think we just
watched
watched
it anyway, Sharon.
It's gone now anyway, so whatever. Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great bit of like rebootness with a little bit of now, you know what I mean? Like I think it tackled it really fun.
I love the show. I was sad it didn't get a second season.
Same.
Yeah.
They didn't take themselves too seriously, which I appreciated. Like it was fun. Exactly. Okay, so you want a not so sequel follow-up bit of information about Scream?
Yep.
This is not a sequel. Oh, yes, it is. It's an installment, actually. The 5th installment, and it's going to scare the pants off us in January. I just rewatched the trailer for it, and that whole "I can see what you're doing" tone in the, like when the guy calls or whoever, if it's a guy or girl, whatever, they've got that voice thing going on. Like, it's scary, man. It's old school scary. That's what I like about scary movies. I don't like gory things. I don't like whatever. The suspensey, the like things that make you jump like that. Love it. Love being on edge. And the poster campaign for Scream, which is coming our way in January, has each of the main characters in the film, holding the mask. And the tagline is, "It's always someone you know." Scary. Scary. And I think it's really cool because it's 25 years after the original, string of murders. So the first movie. And this one has a new killer targeting a new group of teenagers and slowly reveals secrets from the town's past. look out, you're gonna die. The senior members of the cast and the principal characters look great. Courtney Cox, we know that, we follow her on social media. Nev Campbell looks fantastic. David Arquette, everybody has aged properly, and I think it's going to be a fun movie.
I only watched the first one, so I didn't see the other. Was it 3 or 4?
I think I saw the first 3.
Okay.
I think I was like 4, really. That was my attitude at that time. I had an attitude.
Were you still in the clubs?
I might have been. Maybe that was the problem. Get me out of here.
Maybe that was after that Sambuca shot and you were feeling big in your pants.
I couldn't find my way home. You know what's fun though? One of the new faces in the movie Scream, due January 14th, is Jack Quaid.
Oh, yes.
That's right. Perhaps you can't hear that I just raised my eyebrows, but I did. He is the son of Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid. He plays a character named Richie Kirsch, which totally sounds like he's going to not make it to the next movie. Richie's going to get it first. That's my guess.
I thought you were going to say his name was Bubba Wallace or something.
No,
Oh.
Richie.
Yeah, Richies don't make it.
No.
Yeah.
But it's also cool because the first Scream movies were all directed by Wes Craven. May he rest in peace. He passed a few years ago. And both Courtney Cox and Nev Campbell have noted the emotional side to returning to the concept of Scream, to even considering doing it without him. And Nev Campbell has said that, I quote, "I genuinely was in 2 minds. The idea of making these films without Wes Craven seemed challenging to me. I love the man very much, but Matt and Tyler wrote me a letter speaking of their appreciation and great respect for Wes Craven. And speaking of the fact that the very reason that they are directors today was because of these movies and because of Wes. And that meant a great deal to me." So I thought that was really cool. Like a great, like, reach out to the past and say, we are in this, we respect this completely. And by Matt and Tyler, they are Matt Bettinelli Alpin and Tyler Gillette.
That is a very classy thing to do. And more people should take that into account in whatever job you have or career you have. That, like, if you sometimes just take the time to think about your colleagues or whatever, how you can make their day a little bit better. And then obviously come from a genuine, authentic place. And then here we are.
Totally.
Like, she's in the movie. And Nev, by the way, coolest name ever.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's short for never. Just kidding.
You
I
almost
couldn't
said
even
it
keep a
with
straight
confidence.
face. I know. Never. Nev.
She's not the one that doesn't get along. No, that's not it. It's oh my God, Shannon Doherty
Yep.
and the other one from Charm that don't see eye to eye. There's 2 of them. There was 3 of them on the show, and I think 2 of them don't.
We haven't heard from Shannon Doherty in a while. Excuse me for a second. Chester, stop that. That's enough.
Maybe he's
Toddler
weighing in
dog.
on where Shannon Doherty is.
Maybe if only I spoke better, dog.
Yeah, my thoughts are always with her that she's okay, because I know she's still
Yeah.
dealing with her. I guess it's ongoing journey with cancer, and so I just always hope she's doing well.
Same, indeed. Here's a question for you. What would Simon Le Bon do?
Dance.
Dance and just get along with people. How about that?
Mhm.
He was speaking recently about how grateful he is to be in a band, even though they haven't always gotten along, which is typical. You can't be 5 people in any job and always get along.
Yeah.
But if you've got perfect hair and shoulder pads and your blazers in the 80s, it's even more challenging. So Duran Duran have more than 40 years under their collective belt. So of course there have been some bumps, competition, rivalry, as young guys can have. But Simon Le Bon says that you reach that stage where you realize you are friends because you've stuck together, and that you've got all these shared experiences, and all the rough edges that used to annoy you, you now view as the assets of the band, which I thought was a really cool way to maturely look back on what was probably a very colorful decade in the 80s and certainly into the 90s too. But he also said that he would warn his younger self that fame is corrosive as well as addictive, and that people lose themselves.
Yeah.
That's nice fair
Wasn't
warning.
he that group would have been like the precursor to the Frosted Tips, like
Oh,
NSYNC would have
yes.
done years later.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They were perfectly frosted by 1984. I had a life-size poster of John Taylor on my wall.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm still in love with Nick Rhodes. I'm still in love with Nick Rhodes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. He also pointed out that he's lucky to be in a band because solo artists have nobody around them to tell them they're being an a-hole.
Mm.
He says they get indulged and it's corrosive and it's corrupting. He added that you have to learn how to say sorry, be tolerant, to accept differences. This is a wise rock and roller.
Yep. Love this guy.
And also that they split everything equally. No matter who was writing the songs, a sort of a democratic approach to existence. He said, when you split it equally, it doesn't matter who writes the songs. We all get paid the same.
Yeah.
That's smart.
That's an amazing way to do it.
I
Guns
think
N'
that-
Roses should have thought about that initially.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of bands have that. I know the Go-Go's had that as an issue too, when because not everybody was writing songs, but everybody was recording them. So at some point, they probably should have just started their own, publishing company. But you're not thinking that way when you're in it. Some people do, but I think maybe trailblazers at that time aren't thinking super clear. And hindsight is wonderfully 2020. Please hold. Stop that. I'm back.
I love this.
So it's great. Yeah, he knows. I really honestly don't have any more treats. Normally I'm lying, but I'm not lying at this time. So how about that promise to go back to 1993? You ready for it?
Do it.
Let's do it.
One of Kelly's best friends is going to be the start of this.
Let's rewind.
Wait.
We made it.
So one of Kelly's BFFs, was enjoying her second #1 song from her self-titled album that had 6 of the songs in the top 10. That was a huge album. Shame we couldn't remember what it was called a couple of weeks ago, Adam.
We're sorry. We're just so sorry.
Yeah. So Janet's third single, Again, was at #1 around this time in 1993. The first single, which is the other #1 from the album, Janet, is That's the Way Love Goes, one of the first great sexy grooves of our friend Janet Jackson. She's my friend too now. And the video that featured the young Jennifer Lopez and Tina Landon, who
Our
obviously
good friend Tina
choreographed
Landon.
that number. Yeah, well, she's one of Kelly's very good friends, so that's kind of cool. And I kind of got lost in that video today. It was very, very 1993
Yeah.
and wonderful. And just such an awesome song. Now,
And by the way, I know you're moving on. Just quick sidebar. When Jennifer Lopez was a part of That's the Way Love Goes, she had to make a decision if she was going to stay with the Janet group, or because she got a movie role, I think it was, and so she had to pick. And
Wow.
so, because they had to tell, they're like, because they were heading out on tour, and so I think it was Tina that actually had to say to her, like, "Are you staying? Or are you going? Because we need to know." And so the rest was history for JLo.
and she said, I'm going to get on the 6 and think about it. And that's what the name of her first album was. On
That's
the
where it came
6.
from.
Yes. Travel.
Yeah.
Inner city travel. True story. Now, the song that went to #2 because of Janet taking over #1 was I Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That.
I love that song.
So there's the 90s in a nutshell. You can have Janet Jackson at #1 and Meatloaf at #2. How about a dash of salt and pepper at
There we
#5 with
are.
Shoop?
Yeah.
Sharon's favorite group to meet in life ever.
Oh my God. Yeah, they were great. The whole performance was amazing. Meeting them, less than amazing. I mean, it was still nice, but you'd never know it was us or them. Sidebar, back to it. Bryan Adams, how about that? He really upped the Canadian content with 2 spots on the chart back in December of 1993 at #9 with Please Forgive Me. And at #10 with Rod Stewart and Sting on All for Love.
Yeah.
Mhm.
From which soundtrack weren't we just talking about it?
The Prince of Thieves.
Robin Hood.
Right.
How about this one? Tag team, still in the top 20 with Whoop, There It Is. And
There it is.
exactly, you know what? Maybe you guys remember, maybe you don't, that it was such a special time in the world where we could have Whoop, There It Is.
And
But prior to that, Woot! There it is. Which was actually it came out first, hit the chart first, was a hit for, do you remember the name of the band?
A-Train?
No.
Yeah.
I'm nodding and saying no. Is that confusing?
That's good.
95 South.
Oh, I knew it was something with directions involved.
So if I were to ask you, all you fellas, where that booty at? You'd say, woot. There it is. It's not necessarily a rhetorical question either, because someone wanted to know where it was.
Yeah.
Like, I got your booty right here, sir. It's around the corner over there. Oh, yes,
A-Train.
woot. There it is. Anywho, more of a, go-to reference there. And you know what? That's your 90s Rewind.
Thank you so much.
It leaves us rhetorically here. Where? There it is. Woot. Woot.
There's nothing else to say except hasta luego. Thanks. Pete.
Thank you very much, Rachel. I hope we didn't lose you.
And all the others.
And everyone else, thank you for listening to 90s Now. Still happening.